Hello students, welcome to my channel Science at Fingertips. So in our previous video, we have studied about different methods of food preservation like heating, boiling, sun drying, pasteurization, cold storage, refrigeration, use of different chemicals. And now we are moving towards our last part of the lesson microorganisms, that is nitrogen fixation. So nitrogen fixation is the beneficial effect of microorganisms. Useful microbe, rhizobium, is involved in the fixation of nitrogen in leguminous plants. So this nitrogen fixation takes place with the help of rhizobium bacteria, which lives in the root nodules of leguminous plants, that is beans, pulses, peas, etc. So this bacteria helps in the fixation of atmospheric nitrogen. And this rhizobium bacteria lives in the roots of leguminous plants in symbiotic relationship. So what is the meaning of symbiotic relationship? That is mutual relationship. Root nodules is the place where this bacteria lives. So roots of the leguminous plants provide shelter to rhizobium bacteria, and in turn rhizobium bacteria absorbs atmospheric nitrogen and converts it into nitrite and nitrate compounds and make the soil enriched with nitrogen and its compounds, and roots of the leguminous plants absorb the nitrate contents in the dissolved forms, and so in this way this nitrogen is available for leguminous plants, and with the help of this nitrogen leguminous plants prepare proteins. They prepare pulses, peas, beans. These are the fruits, products of leguminous plants which are rich in protein, and protein contains nitrogen, and this nitrogen comes from soil in the dissolved form, and it is fixed by rhizobium bacteria. So in this way rhizobium bacteria and leguminous plants, they help each other. So when these organisms live in beneficial relationship with each other, mutual relationship, helping each other, this is known as symbiotic relationship. Nitrogen also gets fixed through the action of lightning. So in the nature, in the atmosphere, this atmospheric nitrogen is fixed when there is lightning in the sky. Nitrogen and oxygen molecules combine to form nitrite and nitrates. The amount of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains constant, and our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas. So atmospheric nitrogen always remains constant, and its percentage in the atmosphere is 78%. So in the picture you can easily see the roots of leguminous plant having nodules in it, which are called root nodules, that is bulb-like projections in the roots. And in these root nodules live rhizobium bacteria, which fixes atmospheric nitrogen for leguminous plants, that is plants of peas, pulses, beans, etc. and thereby making the soil nitrogen rich, and this nitrogen rich soil provides atmospheric nitrogen in the form of nitrite and nitrate to the plants. So now we come to our next slide, that is nitrogen cycle. So as we have discussed that the amount of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains constant, that is 78%. So this atmospheric nitrogen is taken up by plants, and when plants die, that nitrate compounds, nitrite compounds, they get broken down and they get mixed up in the soil again, and atmospheric nitrogen is released back to the atmosphere. Oxygen also released back to the atmosphere. So in this way nitrogen cycle goes on. We will discuss it in detail here. So you can easily see in the nitrogen cycle, it is cyclic form. That is, we take, or plants are taking nitrogen from the atmosphere, and after the death of plants, this atmospheric nitrogen is returned back to the atmosphere. So in this way, percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere always remains constant. So you can easily see here that atmospheric nitrogen in the outer cycle, first we discuss that atmospheric nitrogen is fixed up by a nitrogen fixing bacteria, and this bacteria fixes which bacteria? Rhizobium bacteria. So this rhizobium bacteria fixes atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogenous compounds, that is nitrites and nitrates. These compounds of nitrogen come in the soil, and from the soil these nitrogenous compounds are absorbed by the roots of plants, uptake by the plants. Then using this nitrogen, plants prepare proteins, and these proteins are eaten up by animals. After the death and decay of plants and animals, these nitrogenous compounds are mixed up in the soil, and with the help of denitrifying bacteria, compounds of nitrogen, that is nitrite, nitrate, which contain oxygen also, NO2, NO3. So with the help of denitrifying bacteria, these compounds of nitrogen are broken down, and free nitrogen, free oxygen are released back in the atmosphere. So with the help of nitrifying bacteria, compounds of nitrogen are formed and nitrogen is fixed. With the help of denitrifying bacteria, compounds of nitrogen broken down, and atmospheric nitrogen, atmospheric oxygen are released back into the atmosphere. So these compounds of nitrogen, that is nitrite and nitrate, taken up by plants, proteins are formed, animals eat the protein, death and decay of animals, and also excretion of animals, which contains ammonia, NH3, nitrogen compound. Nitrogen compounds come in the soil, and with the help of denitrifying bacteria, all elements, nitrogen, oxygen, and in ammonia hydrogen is there, all are released back in their original form into the atmosphere. So this is the atmospheric nitrogen cycle, and it is showing that whatever nitrogen is absorbed by the atmosphere, it is released back into the atmosphere after the use by plants and animals. So, percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains constant, that is 78%. Okay. So this is about nitrogen cycle. I hope you might have understood, students. So this is our last part of the lesson microorganisms. And if you have any doubts, any questions, please drop in the comment section and like, share and subscribe my channel. And we'll see you in the next video with another lesson of class 8 science. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Thank you all. Thank you, students.